In this session, we will learn some of the Git basics, how to initialize Git, how to initialize your project to get used to it Git, and later in next session we will link that project to the GitHub. Okay, let's start. So this is the terminal that I opened. In this we will create a directory in which we keep our project. pwd print working directory. This shows we are in our home, user home. My user is Sublime. So let's make a directory mkdir git example session. Now cd git example session. You can make some smaller name for this folder. I'm actually name it some big one. Let's make a smaller name mkdir git session or gits. Okay. So now run the lsal command. So list all of the directories and hidden files that is resides in this directory. As visible here, there is no file or a directory inside this directory. So let's copy some project first. That I'm copying some, my sample project files inside this. So my project is now copied in this directory as visible here. It's a directory with the user and group Sublime, and it's available here. So let me minimize it now, so we can see how things change in Git directory when we run Git commands. How things change, how things change when we config Git. Firstly, to use Git commands, we need to config it. We give to at least a username and an email which gets stamps with every commit that we make with Git. So we are keeping a trigger here so that we can see how the our file structure in this directory is changing when I'm running Git commands for Git commands now. See, here is only one directory now to initialize Git. we run git init, enter. Now you can see here एक dot git यानी कि एक hidden git directory is created. Git uses this directory to keep snapshots of each commit that you make and all of the configuration files and info files that you use with this project inside this git directory. You can also configure git to use the same information in all of your projects in your current user. And that file is git config that will goes to the home directory of your user. You can also use git config to configure git for system wide. Let's see how it's done. Git config git config this is showing the default git file, default configuration of git. Now we see git config file that resides in .git directory that we just created via git init. Do not create .git directory by yourself. If you copy project from one location to other location or one user to other location, other user, generally what you copy is this .git directory, which keep the snapshots of all your commits and the configuration that is specific to the project. cd .git here you can see the config file. This is specific to this project only. Now see what is inside this config. See, this is the default configuration, default property values that get put in for us. Now because every commit that we make, means every snapshot that is ever stored in git have a user email and a name as stamped with it. So we'll add it now to our that git file config file. So what I'm doing is adding a trigger on this to see how it will change. Watch when I send to cat config. So this will cat config now run every 2 seconds, as it is here running every 2 seconds. ls space -al is list all files, even hidden ones. Git config user dot name git user git config user dot email new git user at commit dot org. See, because we added user name and user email in our git config in this for this project only, it is visible now in our configuration file, git configuration file for this project. Name new git user, email new git user at commit.org. This name and email will be stamped for every time when we commit. Now there are some portions that happens in git, some specific portion in which stage your file is actually your project is. So either you have not committed it initially, or either you have make some changes and do not add it to the staging area. So what happens but there are some states in which every file that you want to track with git have to go through. Let's see. What is this? It's the remote server at which you resides your git project. We will do this in the next lecture. So what you do when you pull your code from server, it is cloned in your local directory. Branches, if you do branching at your local directory, means it's if you want to go away from your mainstream workflow and do something testing and do something that you want to do but do not want to publish it in the production line, you will create a branch, do your stuff, and then merge it. There are other ways to do that thing as well. We will look that in later lectures. Working files are the files that in your working directory, means the work that you are doing in a directory is your working directory, and this is the directory that you link with git, because you want to track all the changes on all the files in your project, main directories and all subdirectories that you want to get tracked. This will make your whole a working tree that you add into inside the git. If you want to get code from remote server, you will use git pull. If you want to put that code that you have worked on your local machine or in your cloud machine and put it in on your backup server, the code server, you will do push, git push. This is the staging area. every file that you ever commit in Git have to go through a stage called staging area. Although you can bypass it by adding a -a to the commit, so it will directly commit the file without having to add you to run git add command to add it to the first to the staging area and then git command. So you can add it to a snapshot, means you have committed it completely. We will look in all of this one by one. So now what we're doing is to make some changes. So what I'm doing, I'm adding a readme file. Git status. What this command do is show you what you have the state of your files in your working directory, means the changes that you have made in a file, whether you that are available in your only working directory, in staging area, or it has already been committed. All those information will be visible in git status. Because we have not committed a single commit, it shows me untracked files, git status, nothing added to commit, because every file that we have ever to commit first goes to staging area. Staging area shows this file or this change is going to be in your next commit if you run git commit command. So what I'm doing is first to put a trigger on it, git -2 git status, so we can see what is the output of this command. Every change that every git command that we run from here now. So git add star. At this point what I'm doing is to add all of the directories and all of the subdirectories, all of the files in this project to be tracked by git. So git add star. Now see here, it changes to be committed, because I've added all those files and subdirectories that is inside my project. It is now in the staging area. We will do our first commit now. Git commit enter. What this do? It's open up an editor. This hash shows it is commented. It will not be contribute, but only a message stuff. So they will not store as message to your current git commit. In the first line we will put the message that will be actually stamped as message in this commit. So we are putting a message user, new user, git first git commit. We are saving it now. Control X. Just save the even if you close the file, you do not have to actually save the file. If you close the file, it will save this, save the message with your commit. So let's see git log whether our commit happens successfully or not. It happens successfully, so you do not have to worry about it. I do not save that file. No, that's not the case here. Whenever you put a message inside that file, that message is stamped with your commit. This is how the git works. If you do not give the message at the line at which you are running git commit, it will opens up an editor that is configured to open inside git config. You can choose your own editor if you like. We will do that in later section. But for this now, because we have not given it a message at the line at which you run git commit, it opens up a text editor showing what will go inside this commit. So we put a message on it and it will be stamped. We just put a message and close that editor. It will store that message with the commit. So now see here what happened. All those files gone now. Git status show the current state of your files that you are tracking with Git. The branch that is very firstly created with Git init is master branch, as shown here. Message nothing to commit, working directly clean, because we have committed all of our changes that we have done in this working directory and successfully committed it. What I'm doing here now is putting a trigger on log. Don't panic, we will discuss this command later on. It's some options that I'm giving to git log command. So here when we run git log command, it shows the complete commit hash, author name, author email, date stamp and commit message. And this, due to this pretty one line option, it only shows me the git hash that is stored, user, message that actually this is a commit message. This is not a username. This is a commit message because this is the commit message here. New year first git commit. So if you have a large number of commits, if you have 50 to 60 commits, you will not run this command. You will run this command. So you have all those. You can see all those commits in a tree right from the terminal that is in front of you. Otherwise you have to browse up and down to see all the commits that you have done in your log. We will need very less information, only the message, because most of the time we remember what we have done with the message. Or we can also store some additional information inside the commits, so we can memorize later on what we have done with that commit. This is a short message. We will also store some larger info. Remember, we have configured Git at this time for this project only. If you want to configure Git for all of the projects that resides in your current user, use git config with a global option. User dot name, global new git user. Git config global user dot email global user at commit.org. Now we see cd.git where this configuration is actually stored. Here is the config file for this project, because we have option put an option of global in it. It is not stored in this file. Let's see, cat config, it's not here. Let's see where it is. It's in the home directory of your current user. Cd home ls all. See, here's a git config file, this one. This configuration that we made with global option is not available for all projects for this current user in this file. This is a git configuration file that will Git uses by default if you do not create a git file and configure it for your specific project. It will take configuration from this file. So cat dot git config, see, name global new git user, email global user at commit.org. This is what we have done here. This is stored in git config file that resides as hidden file dot here, see, inside your home directory. So this is all for this session. Connect you later. Thank you.